Welcome to Feel Your Best Self. We're excited that you're joining us for this Part 1 webinar that explores what is Feel Your Best Self. Before we get started, I invite you to join us on the website at feelyourbestself.org and connect with us through our various social media channels to access all of the information that we're going to be discussing today. I'm Molly Ferreira. I'm the Implementation Coordinator for Feel Your Best Self. I'm delighted to be sharing with you this wonderful collaboration between the Collaboratory on School and Child Health and the Ballard Institute and Museum of Puppetry. Feel Your Best Self would not be possible without the generous support of the Principal Foundation, with additional support from the NEAG Foundation and others. All right, so what exactly is Feel Your Best Self? Feel Your Best Self is an award-winning toolkit that brings accessibility, creativity, and joy into learning simple emotion coping strategies. The Feel Your Best Self approach is flexible for kids and their caregivers to explore what works to make emotional navigation simpler and to help you ultimately feel your best self. Feel Your Best Self introduces 12 emotion coping strategies with themes including calm yourself, catch your feelings, and connect with others. Although the toolkit is generally geared toward elementary-aged kids, the Feel Your Best Self strategies can be used across all stages of life. Here is a look at the 12 strategies included in Feel Your Best Self. We'll get into these a little more later. I do want to take a minute to introduce the 3 main puppet friends who are featured in Feel Your Best Self. First, we have Mina, who's about 9. Mina loves science and basketball and often acts as an older sibling type who likes to teach friends different strategies. But Mina sometimes has struggles too that friends help with. Next, we have CJ, who is about 7 and has a lot of worries, but also learns some helpful strategies to help other friends deal with difficult situations. Finally, we have Nico, proudly 6.5, who sometimes experiences big feelings and learns how to deal with them with a little help from friends. Nico definitely has strengths, though, and gets to share these with friends to help them feel their best self, too. So how does Feel Your Best Self work? It's simple, really. How we feel in everyday moments is a crucial part of our emotional well-being. Learning and practicing simple strategies helps us experience lifts in emotion, feelings, or moods, meaning we feel our best self. But emotion coping isn't always a one-size-fits-all. For example, some kids may resonate with 1 or 2 strategies over another, and that's okay. Feel Your Best Self allows kids to explore different strategies and find the ones that work best for them to carry with them through life. When we're not feeling our best selves, we need to choose the emotion coping strategy that aligns with our need in the moment. Do we need to set our situation up for success, shift our thoughts, refocus our attention, or do we need to settle our bodies? Based on what we need to do, we have a menu of strategies to try that, in the moment, alters the emotional quality of our everyday experiences by either increasing positive emotion or decreasing negative emotion. Over time, regularly practicing these simple emotion coping strategies increases our emotional well-being. Now let's take a look at what's included in Feel Your Best Self. The Feel Your Best Self toolkit includes multiple components freely accessible in both English and Spanish. The toolkit includes the feelings forecast, short strategy videos with puppet friends, strategy step cards, discussion tip sheets, reflection sheets, and puppet making options. Facilitator guidance is also available for using the various components. I'm going to go over all of these different components with you in the following slides. We teach Feel Your Best Self first by this idea of a feelings forecast. The feelings forecast is a great tool for kids to be able to check in with their feelings. We like thinking of heavy feelings similarly to when you feel like you have a ton of bricks in your backpack, or you're just not feeling your lightest and brightest. So we use these 3 clouds to show the different types of feelings. The stormy cloud represents those heavy feelings like angry, scared, or disappointed. The regular cloud represents those feelings kind of in the middle, like calm, relaxed, and focused. And the sunny cloud represents those light feelings like happy, excited, and proud. Eventually, we can use strategies to shift the way we feel. So if we're having some stormy, heavy feelings, we can use a strategy to get back to those light and sunny feelings. The feelings forecast is universal and can be used anywhere. You can use it on the go, hang it in offices or classrooms, or even on your refrigerator for your children at home. Next, we have our strategy cards. Like I mentioned earlier, our strategies are organized into 3 categories. The first category is the calm yourself strategies. Shake out the yuck is a physiological strategy that gets kids moving their bodies to shake off heavy feelings. Belly breathing is one that you probably know well, taking deep breaths to slow our heart rate and promote relaxation. Ground it down is a progressive muscle relaxation strategy where we tighten and release muscle groups. And Chillax in My Head uses guided imagery to help visualize a calming space. Catch Your Feelings strategies help promote self-awareness by helping children shift their thoughts to those that help them feel their best self. Float Your Boat, Turn the Dial, and Push the Clouds all use cognitive restructuring to help kids name and reflect their heavy feelings and then shift their thoughts to see things in a different way. Smell the Roses uses mindfulness to help kids refocus their attention on the present moment. Finally, we have our Connect with Others strategies, which help children feel their best self through building relationships and acts of kindness towards others. Feel It Together teaches the importance of sharing feelings with a trusted person like a friend or teacher. Bring a High Five teaches kids to show gratitude to the important people in their lives. Be a Kind Helper and 3 Friendly Wishes show how engaging in acts of kindness can help both the giver and the receiver feel their best self. The strategy cards highlight the 3 to 5 main steps of the strategy in simple words and with pictures. There are strategy cards for all 12 of the Feel Your Best Self strategies, again, available in both English and Spanish. These are also great to print out and hang in classrooms or offices, or download on your phone for when you're on the go. Together, these 12 strategies that are organized into 3 categories make up the core of the Feel Your Best Self toolkit. This table describes each strategy and can be found in our facilitator guide overview, which I'll get to in a little bit. But first, let's get into the strategy videos and discussion tip sheets. These are some screenshots from our website that show the thumbnails for the English version of all the strategy videos. These videos feature our 3 puppet friends, CJ, Mina, and Nico, as they navigate their way through challenging situations. Not only are these videos super fun and engaging for kids, but most importantly, they're relatable, as the scenarios are similar to what kids would experience in their everyday lives. You can also access the English and Spanish versions of these strategy videos on our YouTube channel. The video discussion tip sheets are great one-pagers for each strategy that can be shared with families or easily used when doing a lesson that anyone can pick up. They have the strategy steps at the top to help guide practice, along with questions to discuss after watching the video and practicing the strategy together. They also offer some additional tips specific to each strategy. Next, we have the reflection sheets. As you can see here, the reflection sheets allow kids to rate how they feel after trying a strategy, and depending on developmental ability or interest, can either draw or write a reflection on how they might use the strategy to help them feel their best self. We know not every strategy is going to work for each kid, so these reflection sheets help facilitate critical thinking for the child themselves to know what works for them and what doesn't. Now let's take a look at the facilitator guidance. The facilitator guide overview has background on the project, including evidence for how and why we created the toolkit. It also has case studies to show how to use the components in different ways. We also have guides for making the most of the toolkit to take some of the planning out of integrating Feel Your Best Self. For example, we have sample schedules for introducing one strategy over the course of a month or introducing a strategy every week. We also include some potential challenges you might encounter and offer solutions to move forward. Here is a look at the facilitator steps that accompany the intro video in each of the 12 strategies. As you can see, they're presented in a lesson plan format and provide some structured steps and suggestions to follow for initial teaching of the strategy. Of course, we encourage you to take this and make it your own, and you can absolutely design your own steps for teaching, but we also know that some people want the structure provided for them, and we've done that. We also include optional tools to aid in your planning and evaluation of your implementation. The first tool provides a brief overview of what types of skills are addressed in each strategy. The second gives you space to plan what components you might use in teaching a strategy, what resources you need, when and where you will teach, and what adaptations you might need to make. Finally, we have an implementation checklist where you can rate whether you implemented the steps you chose to use in the way that you hoped. The last toolkit component that I'll discuss in this Part 1 webinar is our puppet making options. So why puppetry? Well, there's a lot of evidence and research that shows how integrating puppetry can help facilitate child engagement, foster a more relaxed classroom environment, help develop communication, build empathy, self-advocacy, and emotional awareness. On our website under Guides for Educators, you can learn about how to integrate puppetry by watching our puppet making workshop videos. These videos take you through the steps of how our team facilitates puppet making. You can either watch them ahead of time as a model, or you can pause the video after each step is demonstrated and give kids time to complete the step. We also offer a step-by-step puppet making guide and a list of suggested materials at different price points. So if you're new to puppet making, you can still guide kids through making a puppet of their own. Thank you for watching our Part 1 webinar. Be sure to check out Part 2 on how others are using Feel Your Best Self. You can access it on our website at feelyourbestself.org.